Next on ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend, new details this morning from the terror attack in Nice. The terror group now claiming responsibility. And the fallout continues following a coup attempt in Turkey. The latest on the death toll and those arrested this morning. And the fire in Tiburon continues to burn out of control. The latest declarations and status of the blaze this morning. On Storm Track Weather, Stephen.
First alert is in effect for some more hot weather in store for us. Also, rain chances returning to the forecast. I'll have those details.
This is all the news you need to start your Saturday, July 16th. ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend starts right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso Weekend.
Well, good morning, El Paso, and thank you for joining us. I'm Andrew J. Polk. Getting straight to your Storm Track weather now. Let's get your first forecast with Storm Track meteorologist Stephen Decatur. Some strange, wet, and yet hot weather around here lately, Stephen.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of both, and unfortunately today is going to be another one of those days. It does look like we're going to climb above the century mark once again, but there is a chance of rain. Here's a time lapse from the War Eagle Air Museum in Santa Teresa yesterday. You can see it started off sunny, very hot, lots of sunshine, warming things up, but then those storms popped up, and you can see that dust. Well, it blows through, and the visibilities drop very quickly, so that's certainly a possibility once again today as we see some afternoon thunderstorms pop up for many locations. You can see temperatures though from the rain yesterday starting off fairly comfortable. 78 degrees in El Paso currently, 74 in Las Cruces, so not too bad, but those temperatures are going to rise very quickly as we head through the morning, and we are going to be back above 100 degrees as we head into this afternoon. So here's what we're watching. We're going to be watching the radar, and I'm going to take you on a little radar tour. We do have some showers in the area this morning, especially in the lower valley, and those temperatures, they're going to be climbing, and we're going to be adding to those triple-digit days. I'll talk about that coming up.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Check back in just a bit. After hours of chaos, the Turkish government claims it is now back in full control. Over 2,800 plotters have been arrested in yesterday's attempted military coup. ABC's Alex Marquardt has more.
It was chaos overnight across Turkey as part of the country's military attempted to seize power in a coup, which this morning appears to have ended in failure. More than 100 who helped stage the insurrection were killed, as well as more than 160 others. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, who was on vacation, quickly flew to Istanbul and dramatically vowed to crush the uprising. He blamed it on the followers of an exiled Turkish cleric living in Pennsylvania and called on his supporters to take to the streets. This crowd answering the call, confronting the soldiers and climbing on their tanks. Hours earlier, troops in camouflage had shut down the iconic bridge over the Bosphorus, which connects the European and Asian sides of Istanbul. A statement by coup organizers declared martial law as tanks took up positions at the entrance to Istanbul's airport, driving alongside cars on highways, jets and helicopters buzzing overhead.
They were very low flying, they were very noisy, and there were so many of them.
Explosions were heard in the two biggest cities, Istanbul and the capital Ankara, where there was a blast at the Turkish parliament. Shattered glass and doors ripped off their hinges. According to state media, the insurgents used WhatsApp to communicate. This video released this morning. The U.S. watching the sudden uprising with concern. Turkey is a key NATO member and U.S. ally in the fight against ISIS. They host an air base used by American warplanes that bomb ISIS targets in next-door Syria. By daybreak, Turkey's government had said it had taken back control, arresting around 3,000 connected to the plot, Turkey's president calling it an act of treason.
And that was Alex Marquardt reporting. And more breaking news this morning, ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack in France. French authorities have not indicated if the attack was part of a larger ISIS plot or if the killer took direction directly from ISIS. 5 people have been taken into custody, including the suspect's ex-wife. And the man behind the attack in Nice is identified as 31-year-old Mohamed Boulel. He is a Frenchman from Tunisia. Prosecutors say he was never placed on a terror watch list. He was convicted back in March and handed a 6-month suspended sentence for violence with a weapon committed in January. The truck he was driving barreled through a crowd for more than a mile, leaving behind bodies strewn across the road and people fleeing in terror before police shot Boulel. 84 people were killed, 10 of them children. A father and an 11-year-old son from Texas visiting Nice as tourists are among those dead.
Their family, like so many others, are devastated. They're grieving. They need all the love and support of our American family as they grapple with an unimaginable loss and try to get through what are going to be very difficult days.
And starting today, French President Hollande has declared 3 days of mourning across the country for the victims of the attack. But back around the United States, Donald Trump is set to formally introduce his vice presidential pick, Indiana Governor Mike Pence, at a news conference today. The announcement was delayed in response to the attack in Nice, but Trump did informally announce his pick on Twitter. Meanwhile, Democrats are slamming the decision just days before the Republican National Convention in Cleveland. ABC's Stephanie Ramos is there with the latest.
As preps for the Republican National Convention continue, Mike Pence took to Fox News talking about his decision to join Donald Trump's campaign as his running mate.
It's such an important time in the life of our nation, and this man is the right leader for America.
Moments after Trump tweeted Pence as the vice presidential pick, high-ranking Republicans praised the Indiana governor as a steady leader in the party.
He's experienced. I think he shores up a conservative base that is important. I think that he's a complementary to Donald Trump as far as personality.
It was just this past March when Pence was at the center of the religious freedom debacle in his home state of Indiana, signing the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. The law protects the right of a person or business to follow their religious beliefs. Businesses started pulling out of the state quick.
Of course I am.
Hillary Clinton calling Pence the most extreme VP pick in a generation.
The ash heap of history.
Meanwhile, Clinton is still narrowing her list of potential running mates, campaigning with Virginia Senator Tim Kaine and reportedly meeting with Senator Elizabeth Warren and House of Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro. Clinton's campaign says she is closing in on making a VP selection and expected to make an announcement next week. In just a few days, Pence and Trump will take the stage here at the Republican National Convention, and the security here in Cleveland is tighter than ever before. In Cleveland, Ohio, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
And back around our region, New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez has declared a state of emergency in response to the wildfire in Tiburon, New Mexico. The cause of that fire is still under investigation as well. Our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom was there this past week. State officials say they were hoping to get more control of the fire overnight, and according to an incident commander, the fire is now 40% contained.
I've been here since 1980, and whenever we've had disasters like this, I've always been on the fighting line. I've never evacuated at all. This is the very first time I had to spend time off the mountain as an evacuee.
Tiburon is located southeast of Alamogordo and 40 minutes away from Cloudcroft. So far, the fire has burned 290 acres of land and destroyed or damaged almost 70 homes. We know for sure that at least 31 are gone. Also from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom, we've learned the former fire chief in Tiburon lost his home in the fire. Richard Dysart, who's now a volunteer firefighter, said he was actually one of the first to call in the fire Wednesday.
We'll go off at home or somewhere to cry. But all we've lost is stuff. We haven't lost each other.
At 81 years old, Dysart says he can't begin to imagine how he and his wife will rebuild. And investigators say no injuries were reported in a pallet fire on El Paso's far east side. The fire could be seen just after 6 o'clock yesterday evening at a business on the 14,000 block of Montana. When firefighters arrived, they say a stack of pallets and 2 box trailers were engulfed in flames. Investigators say the fire was started by discarded embers. And an intersection on El Paso's west side is finally back open this morning. Last night, traffic headed west on Mesa was diverted onto Belvedere. We spoke to a couple who came from the area and say that they saw something fall from the power lines. Police asked them to stay away because of the possible threat of electrocution. The intersection was closed for a couple hours last night, but again, according to police dispatch, the intersection is back open this morning. And power is back on this morning for East El Paso residents. It's knocked out for several hours because of all the wind yesterday evening. An El Paso Electric spokesman posted this on Facebook. Quote, due to high winds in our service area, we are seeing outages. Our line crews continue to work on restoring power as safely and as quickly as possible. The electric company says up to 5,000 customers were without power in that area you just saw there near Yarrow and Springwood. ABC7 viewer Armando Juante sent us this cell phone video showing the power lines that are down because the poles holding them up were knocked down. Armando then called our newsroom to let us know what was going on. Other parts are affected, like west and central El Paso, but according to a Paso Electric website, there are no outages as of this morning. And happening today, the Horizon City Lions Club and Socorro School District are teaming up once again for their annual uniform swap. Parents can save money from the start of the school year by exchanging used uniforms or backpacks for a voucher for new uniforms. You can also take other school supplies like notebooks, pencils, crayons, and other items. You can only get a voucher for uniforms and backpacks. It's happening at East Lake High School from 8 this morning until noon. Also happening today is the Glow Run at Escalante Park. There will be both a timed 5K for the runners and a 1-mile fun walk. The Glow Run will have black lights on the course and lots of food and food trucks. Grab something to eat. There will also be a kids VIP area with jumping balloons, face painting, and more. Party starts at 6:30 this evening, and the run and walk starts at 8:30. And UTEP will be having its 5th annual alumni picnic. It will be this evening from 5 to 8 at Memorial Park on 1701 North Copia Street. The event is meant to help minors reconnect and celebrate their alma mater. There will be food, live music, face painting, water, games, and much more. Tickets are $25 for the family package, which is 2 adults and 2 children, $10 for adults in the Alumni Association, $8 for UTEP students, and $7 for children under 12. The ticket price includes a hamburger or hot dog, 2 salads, beans, and 2 drinks. Well, the scandal in a local school district shocked our region when it first came to light. Coming up on Good Morning El Paso weekend, but one of the most recent administrators facing penalties now has to say for himself on the stand. And later, a long-awaited road improvement is now open in Far East El Paso, most of it anyway. And it is about 8:12 right now, taking a live look at traffic this morning. Looking at I-10 in Harnos, bit of traffic out there, otherwise moving along just fine. East Lake, further out towards the east side, looking just fine. Bit of traffic, some people moving out there for your Saturday morning. Otherwise, conditions pretty much clear and no major problems to report on the roads. And the storm track weather, Steven.
A first alert remains in effect, and we have a few showers out there. I'll take a radar tour coming up.
You're watching ABC7, where news comes first.